I noticed a couple of things from the forum that I want to talk about. First is I saw people using skyboxes, which is how you can add skies to your scene. Like, notice how right now we just have a background color and it's not really that exciting. So I want to briefly talk about skyboxes. We won't be using it for the most part. I don't think we'll be using it for the two games we're going to create. But it's a nice little tool if you're creating something a little bit bigger or requires a skybox. So let me just rotate the camera slightly so we can see in the game view, can see more of the background. And I don't have any sky. So skybox. So imagine the scene as being in a huge box. Imagine everything you see here is inside a gigantic box, right? A skybox will actually just put a huge background as a sky for this huge box that's containing the scene. So the first thing we need to do is we go to Assets, Import Package, and let's find skyboxes. So Unity comes with a package of skyboxes that we can use. You can also find more skyboxes from the asset store or around the web. Right, so, but let's import the standard package. Okay, and the importing package window again. Let's just hit import. It's going to take a little bit of time. And now it's imported. You can see that we now have a new folder called Standard Assets. If you import any Unity packages, the standard packages that comes with the application, they are most likely to appear here, Standard Assets. Go to Skyboxes. You can see you have a lot of new skyboxes that you can use, right? But the way you use this is by going into Edit, Project Settings, Render Settings. So again, Edit, Render Settings. So rendering is a term that we use to describe how the computers generate images, right? You render images onto the screen. So just don't worry about the term if you don't feel familiar with it. Some of these terminologies aren't that sort of quick to get a handle on, but basically what we need to do now is just go to Render Settings, and then here you can see that there are a lot of different ways you can change the scene, right? I don't think that's gonna, so if we turn on fog, change some of that, but I don't think that's effective in the current setup right now, so let's not worry about that. Skybox material, here you click on this little button here. This is how you can select assets directly from this pop-up window. So essentially this is this folder here, this window here shows assets that are related to this field. And another way to do that is you can also just drag an asset from this area to this field. So let me demonstrate. So the first way to do it is, let's say we want a sunny sky. Like, okay, that looks like an interesting sort of sky. There's a moon there. Okay, so another thing you notice is as soon as I click on an object or file, the inspector is going to go to that particular object. So I need to go back to Edit, Render Settings. Now we're looking at Render Settings again in the inspector. Let's drag this skybox into this field. Right, so you can see that now we have sky. Great. And if we rotate the camera a bit more, you can see that the skybox sort of goes all the way around. Right. Now another way we can select, let me just demonstrate how to use that, is by clicking on this button, and it will show you all the materials in the project. Right. Now we can use a random one, we can use create. But if you notice that in the game we just have this weird sort of looking material that doesn't quite work because it's not set up as a skybox. It's, you know, the material is not properly set up. So let's use a proper skybox material. Right. So one thing you can do is you can search skybox, because these files all have they have proper file names with skybox in it. The nice thing about this is you can click on different ones and see what they look like. Sort of preview them. Right. I'm going to go with this. So kind of like a sunrise, kind of a sky, and then that sort of fits the lighting we have, the yellowish lighting. So when you do this, you can adjust your lighting according to the skybox, right? So to make it a little bit more realistic. You don't have to, but it's kind of nice to do that. Okay, so that's how you use the skybox. And related to that, if you notice this button here, we turned this off earlier to see the grid on this plane, on the XZ plane. But if you click on it, you can turn Skybox on, and when you just move your view in the scene, you can see the Skybox. So if you think that's important to you to be able to see that during editing, then you can always do that. I prefer to turn it off for the most part, because I want to keep this view clean, so I can manipulate my projects a little bit easier. So that's Skybox.